Mark, happy Father's Day.
Thank you, my brother.
And you are the cool dad. Like, I am so glad I got to talk to you about Father's Day.
I am the self-titled cool dad.
Because you do these fun things on Instagram with your kids and stuff called cool Dad.
That's right.
They seem like they're annoyed on camera, but they secretly love it.
They never know when I'm going to do it. I never know when I'm going to do it. It's just if they'll get in the car, it's usually in the car. So it's just, how can I embarrass my kids? Hey gang, cool dad's in the house. Squad goals. Would you say this place is lit? I say it is. Yeah, they love it.
You're pulling inspiration from things your dad used to say.
Things I felt like my dad used to say, and then just all the cliches and the puns and all that kind of stuff, you know, and so anything we're doing, I'll just start dragging on them, and they love it.
Mark Hall CC on Instagram, right?
Mark Hall CC, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I don't follow me. I wasn't sure of my name there for a minute.
Yeah, it's there. Go follow it. You'll see the cool dad videos. But yeah, we're talking about Father's Day, and obviously you've got, 4 kids? A lot of them are on the road with you. All of them are on the road with you, really?
Yeah. Since the start.
So what's that like? Because when I was a kid, my dad used to drag me to work with him, and I hated it. But I'm guessing it's a little different when you're on the road touring.
Well, you know, as cool as you might think being on the road is, when you're on the road, you're like, okay, Dad, can we go home? Can we not be on this? But they've been on the road with us since the start. Melanie, my wife, runs Crowns. She's the left brain of all of it and keeps everything organized. And so I think when we first went on the road, Zoe was newborn, and she was in the back in a little pack and play in the back of the bus, you know. So they've been on the road since the start. And so I got John Michael, Reagan, and Zoe, and we adopted Hope about 9 years ago. So it's a road family.
And the 2 older kids are like working with the band now.
John Michael does merch, and then he plays a song or two with us on the road, on the stage. Reagan is a production assistant. Zoe helps with the cameras and stuff on the concert. So they're growing up into it.
Yeah, and like, I know my dad used to drag me to work with him, but that's where I really learned a lot of valuable skills, is working with my dad. And that's cool. You get to do it even in this setting with your kids.
It really is. I kind of decided from the start that if we couldn't do it together, we just weren't going to do it. And I actually told all the people in my musical world that. And I said, I'm not going to do this and take me away from them.
Yeah, sure.
So we decided if we couldn't do it together, we weren't going to do it. It's been a lot more expensive to do it the way we do it, with buses and all that, but it's the right way.
Now, I don't have kids yet, but what was that first moment like when you became a father, when your first child was born?
You know, there's no way to get ready for it at all. I mean, we had one couple of friends that had kids, and it was just like going to their house. We were scared to death. You know, we were like hiding stuff. Is this okay for the baby? You know, what do we do? And even holding other people's kids or taking care of other people's kids, you know, you care about them, but there's a line. There's only so much you can love somebody else's kids. And then man, when I held John Michael, I remember thinking it's weird stuff as a before dad, like, how do you cuddle with a little boy? It's so weird. I guess we need to have girls because I don't know how to do that. And you know, how do you hold them? You're going to break them. And then when we had John Michael, I didn't care if we ever went back to work or anything. I was like, I just want to be around that baby boy. And it's been that way ever since. There's no way to get ready for it, but when it happens, you're ready.
That's my fear. Like, I'm somehow going to break the child.
Yeah.
Like, I love being able to, here you go, here's your kid back, because I don't want to be responsible.
I remember when we took JM home from the hospital, they were like, okay, here you go. And I was like, oh, are you coming with us?
Yeah.
Nurses, what's going on here? I don't know what to do.
Yeah. But man, now your kids are growing up, obviously, and you are not only a dad with your kids, but you are in youth ministry too. Yeah. And you see the real impact dads have on life, even in student ministry, right?
Yeah, I really do. And being a youth pastor is a lot like being a dad for a lot of kids. A lot of kids are growing up that don't have dad at home, never knew him or don't see him much. So I'm really filling in the cracks in a lot of ways for kids. I got kids calling me up and saying, can I go to the prom? Wow. You know, do you think this is okay if I do this? And I speak that much into their lives because there's not anybody else to build walls around them and protect them from things. And that's why I feel like it can't just be a youth pastor thing. I mean, if you're a believer and you're a man, you're in a church, you know, as a man, there's boys all around that church that don't have someone to show them, this is how you shake hands. This is how you look somebody in the eye when you meet them. This is how you handle this situation and that situation, and they're really thirsty for that. And I think as a believer and as a man, we owe that as part of the body of Christ to speak into kids' lives all around us in the church.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think we're all called to youth ministry.
You felt so strongly about it, you wrote a song about it.
Yeah,
right? About calling
right.
men to step up and be the leaders. And, you know, my dad was in my life, your dad was in your life. You know, I don't really know what it's like to have a life without a dad, but there are so many kids who are living that life. And yeah, it's our job as believers to step up.
I think a lot of times when you're a dad, when you go to work, everything works. There's a process at your job. This is the boss. This is our procedure we go through. We do this and this happens. And this is how it all works. Then when you come home, this kid who used to call you his hero is now rolling his eyes at you. And you're like, I don't seem to have the same authority with him. And I thought this is getting hard. So I think dads easily kind of just retreat to what they can do well.
Yeah.
And they sort of let mom kind of run with that because they don't really know how to make the connection without getting mad. So they kind of back off and plug into what they're better at. It's just natural. It's not a bad thing. It's just natural.
Yeah.
But it does become bad over time because that boy, as much as he's rolling his eyes at you, he needs you.
Yeah.
So I think the way that I try to encourage dads now is you can step back in. You can step back into a leadership role in your house, even as a believer. I think in a lot of ways that some dads are kind of young in their faith, and the wife has been a believer for a long time, and they don't feel like they know enough really to assert themselves, so they tend to hang back. And so I find myself encouraging dads more in a practical way, like this is how you can step back into your son's life.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how I would have handled having me as a kid. Like I was kind of a punk kid, you know? Yeah. Like I was a bad kid. Yeah. So I mean, do you see like some of your mannerisms coming out in your kids too?
Oh, dude, John Michael, he's 20. And I feel there's a lawyer in him somewhere because he can argue anything. Even when he was little, it would be like, don't jump on the bed. I'm not jumping, I'm falling on the bed.
Yeah.
I didn't hit her, I tripped towards her, you know, and he's got a way around everything. And then as soon as you figure him out, your next kid is nothing like your last kid. So all four of my kids are totally different. They receive love a different way. They're corrected and they handle things a different way, and you just got to find their way. As soon as you feel like you're the expert parent, you have a new kid and realize you're a rookie all over again. So,
and they can still, I mean, even at 18, 20 years old, they can still have you wrapped around their finger, right?
Very much so. I talked to somebody yesterday that was saying being a parent of a young adult is harder than it was for them to be a parent of a kid, because it never ends. You're always mom and you're always dad, and if you don't have a faith, if you don't have your own walk with Jesus to kind of center you, you're going to be going off your gut, and you're going to be going off of what seems fair and what seems current and what seems this and that. So really it's my relationship with Jesus that keeps me centered to where I've got something to lead from. Otherwise you're just kind of going with the moment. And that's a scary way to raise kids.
Yeah. Well, we actually have a surprise for you. One of your kids, Reagan, is here. And she's here. She came with you. You knew she was here. But she's been keeping something from you that we wanted to have her share during this video.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Hi.
I'm in trouble. I asked you what that book was earlier, and you said, oh, it's just a book I've been carrying around.
It's my list book. It's also my surprise dad book.
Okay.
Dear Dad, I want to thank you for always being there for me. I can always go to you with my problems, but we can also just sit and talk about life. You're always encouraging me to use my voice for God so others can know about Him. You've given me the opportunity as a worship leader to follow in your footsteps, and it is really my passion. Ever since I was little, you've been teaching me how a follower of Christ is called to live, whether it be through your sermons for our youth group or singing on stage and encouraging people all around the world. I'm so thankful that I am your princess, and I know that you will always be there for me, even when I'm in college and when I have a family of my own. I will always have you as my role model for life, and I will always have you as my best friend. I love you, Dad. Happy Father's Day.
My sweet girl. I love you. Thank you. You're grounded for hiding that from me.
Oh,